A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, episode 2. Episode 2. It's a big question. There's a big question everyone wants to know. There's a big question everyone wants to know. Sir Arlen of Pennytree, when he stepped out and he went pee-pee, was it CGI? That's the question. Was it CGI or was it real? That's the question. I mean, that was a well endowed night. So in the first episode, we get a little pooping around the tree, right? We get the pooping, a little bit of diarrhea on the side of the elm tree, which is now his shield. That's his sigil. He's got the elm tree in the middle there with a shooting star. Does the shooting star represent the shooting poop? I don't know. But that's the real question. Was Sir Arlen's girth, length, was it CGI? I ask you. I should turn these things on. Was his manhood CGI? Or was that actor so well endowed? Maybe a little bit of both, right? Maybe a little bit of both. But that was episode 2. Episode 2 of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. And you know what? It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. And look, this isn't. They're telling a story in a very specific way. And you could tell it from the first episode, right? So one thing is for sure, they are making this Duncan the Tall extremely likable, right? I'm a screenwriter. I'm a screenwriter, so every time, my characters, you try always make your protagonist likable. And how they're constructing this character it's really well done. It's incredibly well done. This is someone who is taking basically a verbal beating. His humility, he's humble. He doesn't fight back. He doesn't swing back verbally. He's clumsy. He's a guy, even though he's big and tall, you'd think, I was a kickboxer for a lot of years, for 8 years. I found the big guys easier, not the trained guys, not the big trained guys, but if you're not trained, but it's a very likable character. I liked this second episode. I think almost more, even though not much happened, right? We sort of went through and he's selling horses. He's getting himself armored up. He's getting, he met a Baelor Targaryen. I mean, there's actually, I wrote down the best line, easily the best line in the entire episode. Where was it here? Are you Baelor Targaryen? Then would you move the fuck out of the way? I like that. I thought that was good. I thought that was good. That was the best line. Are you Baelor Targaryen? It turns around. No. Would you get the fuck out of the way? Oh, no, actually, I got it verbatim. Then would you move? The fuck out of the way? That's what it was. So that was the best line in this episode. But the question is it CGI? Is Sir Arlen's manhood CGI? We didn't need the poop scene in the first episode, and we didn't need the wiener scene in the second episode. We didn't. I didn't need it. But he came out, took a pee. I mean, you don't pee right in front of the door. I mean, you take a few more steps away from the door. But very well endowed. And that's the question. I tell you, that's the question that all chat rooms about this episode should be talking about. Is his manhood CGI? Is it AI? Is it constructed? Or is anyway? We could ask the actor. Hey, yo, dude. Yeah, fine. Yeah. So I really liked. So I think there was a different director on this episode than the first one. I thought the lighting was excellent. The sets were excellent. Probably the sets are. But look, you can have the same sets in different lighting, and you literally will have two different looking sets. I thought the first one wasn't lit as well, which really kind of brings some of these soap opera ideas. Like if you ever worked a production or if you ever done any of your own videos, you know how hard lighting is. This was really well lit. It was well lit, well produced. The sets, using the highlight. What was the highlight? The highlight was the tug of war. We had a tug of war. That's the highlight of this baby. Give me some applause. Give me applause. Mando, gotta admit that Wiener scene stole the show, right? Well, that's the dude. Mando, that's the question. Is it real or is it AI? Is it CGI? Could you imagine casting? You're casting. Your agent calls. It's like, hey, whatever the actor's name is. They're just asking how long your wiener is, because they're looking for a 70-year-old guy with a 10-inch wiener, flaccid Mando, flaccid. No amount of Cialis could create that. That was big. That was big. So anyway, was it CGI or what, AI, or was it real? That is the big question. But a good show, a good episode all around. Like this was like, it's not a fact. One thing is, the rest of these episodes are all around 30 minutes long. 30 minutes to 30. I think the longest one after this now is 37 minutes. I think this one was right on the money. 30 minutes is one of the shorter ones. 31 minutes. But it's $6 million per episode. $6 million per episode. And I guess, they got a lot of extras, costume sets. I mean, if you guys saw Starfleet Academy episode 3 at $20 million, you think, where was $20 million in that episode? Where the hell was, so you look at this and you think $6 million. It's pretty good. I would be pretty happy with, if I was HBO, with $6 million coming and getting this type of quality of show, because it's a high quality show. I think it's keeping. I thought the actor that did Baelor Targaryen, I thought he was really good. Played the role really well, convincing. It was a convincing conversation between Duncan and Sir Baelor Targaryen. The actors did an extremely good job. There were a couple of scenes in the first episode that I thought were, oh man, they seem forced. They didn't feel natural, especially the last one with what's his name, the Baratheon guy. It felt a little forced. It didn't feel natural. Everything in this episode felt natural, felt good. The scenery felt good. The lighting felt good. Duncan is an extremely likable protagonist, and he's likable because he's humble. He takes a lot of crap, and you start to feel for him, and he doesn't strike back. And as a screenwriter, I know where they're going with it, whoever the screenwriter is on this. The payback is when, obviously, when he gets some sort of success. But I think at the end, I mean, even the stunt guys doing those, that jousting, that's some serious shit ass jousting, right? That is some serious shit ass jousting. And obviously they're using, modern day trained knights as much as they could exist, people that actually go and they do that stuff. That's really dangerous, right? That really, you got to have a lot of skill doing that. It was a good scene. Overall, I think this is a stronger episode than the first one, in terms of, interacting, setting things up, sets, huge wieners. What the fuck? I mean, that's, if that is his real endowment, dear God, it was so, but people will be talking about the wiener scene. 32 minutes of episode, everyone will be talking about a 9-second wiener scene where some guy with a 10-inch flaccid wiener step out a door and peed. That will be just like they were talking about the poop scene in the first one. This is how you build a good show. This is how all good shows are built. So, don't it's all good. But so some of the things that I did, I wrote down, the things that I really thought were good about this episode. The costumes are all stellar. And that's always like a consistent theme with all Game of Thrones, whether it's House of the Dragon or with Game of Thrones or with this one. The costumes are awesome. They're really good. Like if you take a look at the costumes off of Witcher, it's like, where did you get them from a circus? Where did you get these freaking costumes from? The Witcher costumes were horrific. These costumes are real. Like it literally feels medieval, right? You got to get into that literally 11th, 12th century Europe. That's where you're trying to get to, right? I imagine Westeros was probably 11th century England or France or Spain, right? I mean, it was a freaking horrible time to live. Life expectancy, 29. 29 years old. Old age. Oh, you're 29. Got to get you into a home. You're old, my friend. You're old. Lighting. So those are all, and and I guess not having read the book. So I know a lot of people have read the books, but I would say 80, and I'm guessing most people haven't read the books, right? The mini series that is Sir Duncan the Tall. So I have not read them, so I'm not going to judge any opinion. It's just based purely on the entertainment value, based on what you see, production, direction, casting, script, dialogue is fantastic, good, clean. The dialogue does everything it needs to do and nothing more. That's what a lot of the dialogue gets lost when screenwriters try and do too much, because when it comes to dialogue, you got to be good at it. Like Quentin Tarantino, right? He writes dialogue. He writes too much dialogue that almost has nothing to do with what's going on. But the way he constructs his scene, his excessive dialogue becomes a part of the entire, movie. He's very good at it. Most screenwriters aren't. Most actors aren't good at delivering that kind of dialogue. So, excuse me. So they're really setting Duncan up. They set him up really well as the underdog, which I really liked. So, and I always look at this from, being a screenwriter, I look at it from a screenwriter and having been in production, understanding lighting, directing and things like that. It was, it's a good build-up. It's a good show. It's a good build-up. You really like this character. That's the one thing they're doing so well, right? You really like this character because he's humble. He takes the beating. He's the verbal beating. Everyone around him is kind of acting almost like you would expect a noble of Westeros to act like, right? A little bit of an asshole. There's, everyone's kind of, it's quote unquote Game of Thrones. Each noble, each house is kind of there against each other. It's a tough time to live, call it 11th, 12th century Europe. And Sir Duncan is humble. He has no hubris. He takes the verbal beating and never swings back verbally, right? He never swings back. He just takes it. And it's the kind of character that we root for because he is the underdog. They're making him in every scene. And that's the one thing. If you look at every scene, it's basically establishing him as the underdog. And of course, the tug of war scene, which was the kind of like the third act in this 30-minute, which kind of established. You could argue also like that at the end with the knights jousting, but that was there to give a real brutal idea of what's coming on. And that was that was great filming of that joust scene. So I gotta say, was episode 2 good? Yeah, it was. It was really good. Episode 2, it was good. I think the director, Owen, what was his name? Owen. Yep. Aziza Barnes and Ira Parker wrote it. Owen Harris. What has Owen Harris done? Owen Harris. Black Mirror. 3 episodes. He directed 3 episodes of the Black Mirror. He's been a director. A lot of director. Okay. Nothing huge. I mean, he's done a few things. A lot of things that are in the 6 and 7 point range on IMDb. And of course, the writers. I don't know these writers. Snowfall. Oh, okay, so one of the writers did 10 episodes of Snowfall, and I think that was I didn't watch it, but I think that show did pretty good on HBO. And Ira Parker. Don't say like Velma or something. Oh, The Last Ship. He wrote for The Last Ship. 27 episodes of The Last Ship. I watched a little bit of The Last Ship. I don't know if you guys remember 2016 to 2018. I watched a few episodes. It wasn't bad. So those are the writers. They've done some producing. Anyway, so it looks like they've done a pretty good. It's a half-hour episode, and you're trying to get some story in. So obviously you're constructing a 3 hour and 17 minute. I think it's 3 hours 17 minutes total. You're basically filming one big movie cut into 6 different episodes. Except that you're starting a story pretty slowly because you're really telling not a movie story, because the movie, you want that opening scene that is killer. You want that establishment of the protagonist, the antagonist, and all this other stuff that sort of comes together. It's a slow moving, well orchestrated scene where they are enamoring us to the protagonist, and they're doing it very well. They're doing a very good job. Very good job. Because I do like Duncan the Tall. I like the actor. The actor is doing exceptionally well. So it's really, overall, what would I give it out of 10? Let me see what they're giving, because I know it had a 9.9 before I don't know if there's been enough review. Yeah, it's still got a 9.9 out of 10, but it's probably only like 5 or 6, 10. There's only a few. This one's going to end up over 9. I think this episode is going to end up like at a 9.3 on IMDb, episode 2. I think it's going to be up above 9, 9.1 to 9.3. If I was going to take Vegas odds, like what would it, look, anything for me, a 9 is near perfection. Perfection doesn't exist. A 10 doesn't exist. 9.5 is like, whoa, that is like, a 9 is amazingly good. I don't know if it's a 9 in my book, just because for me, a 9, this is an 8, 8.5, which is probably other people's 9.5s. This is a good, it's a good episode. If the rest of the episodes, if the build up and the likability of that character, Duncan, even the little kid, right? The little kid. I know there's a lot more in store with the little kid, right? The little bald kid, It's like, well, it's you got big Duncan, big ass Duncan the Tall. He's taking a poop in the first one, and then we get Sir Arlen, his knight. He's taking a whiz with 10-inch flaccid wiener, which I'm serious. That's all people are going to talk about. That's gonna, and I'm sure on other live shows right now, that's what they're talking about. The big pee-pee. The big. So. So yeah, I would do about 8.5, which is really good. In my score, I give very few 9.5s out. Breaking Bad would be like a 9. The first few seasons of GOT would be like a 9. I don't know what's, perfection doesn't exist. So you can't give a 10. Giving something a 10 is like, it was perfect. That episode was perfect. You could have done nothing better to make it, nothing to make it better. There's no other way you could make it better. You couldn't have written better. You couldn't have done lighting better. You couldn't have shot better. No scenes better. No this. There's always some way to do it better. Always. A 10 doesn't exist. In music, in art, and certainly not in film and TV. Certainly not. I mean, there is creative choices that people will argue about. And so, a 9.5 is perfection. So, but I think the highlight is this Duncan guy, the actor dude, right? What's his name? Peter Claffey. I mean, he's the highlight in perfect casting. That easily the highlight, right? I mean, and he has to be. He's in every scene. He's literally in every scene. He has to capture what the screenwriters are putting down. Basically, what George R.R. Martin's vision of the character was. And the screenwriters have to sort of put. I don't think George R.R. Martin does any. Not being a novelist and being a screenwriter are two different things. So I'm an award-winning screenwriter. I am not an award-winning novelist. I don't think I could write novels. But screenwriting, I have hundreds of awards. It's a very different discipline. Very different. But they are doing a very good job of telling the story. So much so that I'm looking forward to episode 3 more than I was looking forward to episode 2 after episode 1, if you know what I mean, right? So now after episode 2, I am looking forward to episode 3. It's got me to the point where I am very interested because I like the character a lot. They've really made him the underdog, and now you're basically really rooting for him. But again, the best line, I said it earlier, the best line in episode 2, bar none. Are you Baelor Targaryen? No? Then would you move the fuck out of the way? That was the high part. That was the high part. One thing maybe I would have liked to have seen, and I thought they were gonna. That's why I thought they were doing the knights, the jousting, to give a real, basically showing Duncan that's what I'm going to have to go up against. And instead of, I would have, as the screenwriter, I would have knocked his confidence down. I would have said, "There's no way I can beat that. There's no way I could win." That's what I thought the whole reason for that scene was. And he kind of came out pretty strong. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. To me, that was the perfect place where you should have put some self-doubt into the character. I would have put self-doubt. That would have been, I can't beat these guys. This is what they do. Like but it came out. Anyway, I would have done that differently. When I do my screenplays, my characters, I like establishing extreme polarity. So if you're going to make Sir Duncan the Tall, obviously there's a little romance brewing there, right? And she was the girl in the first one where she was on stage doing something like that. It's like, okay, well, obviously she's going to come back, because if you get screen time, if you get FaceTime, any FaceTime in any TV show, if in one episode some person gets some sort of FaceTime for whatever reason, they're coming back. FaceTime is like, it's a big thing, right? Big thing with TV shows and movies. So, but I would have wanted that ending with that extreme jousting, especially after the setup with the armor, so that the helmet, you can survive, so it doesn't kill you. The way they set that up and everything, I would have used that as a way to instill real doubt. So from a screenwriting perspective, if I was even the director, I would say, you know what, I'm going to rewrite that one. And the directors can usually do that. Usually, there could be different things. This is a different George R.R. Martin thing, so it very well could be, that they cannot rewrite the scripts. Do you guys know that Christopher Nolan does not do added extra scenes? Doesn't film any deleted. There's no deleted scenes or extra scenes in a Christopher Nolan movie. They don't exist. The script is the movie. When he writes it, that's the movie. That's what goes in. It's quite interesting. Quite interesting. Let's see. Did we talk about the penis scene? And that's the question. Was it real? Was it CGI or AI, or was Sir Arlen, did that actor have was that a real wiener? That's the question. Everyone's talking about it. They're going to be talking about it tomorrow. They're going to be talking about it until, and you know what? The actor's not even going to say. He's going to be asked that question. He's going to be he's going to be everyone tomorrow morning. His agent is going to be getting all these freaking phone calls, right? The Sir Arlen guy with the 10-inch flaccid penis. His agent tomorrow morning is going to get all of a sudden all these freaking calls for interviews. Everyone, can we get him? Can we get him? There'll be like 1 or 2 introductory questions, and then there'll be, so was it real? Is it real? Is that your wiener? Was it that big? Is it really that big? He won't say. If he's smart, he won't say. No one will find out until the morgue guy says, yeah, no, it's real. It's real. No CGI. No CGI. So, yeah. Oh, geez. So that's basically, look, when you talk about a half-hour show, there's really not too much to get into. The fact that it's $6 million per episode is pretty good. You know, if you watch $6 million, like granted, you have to be on some productions. You have to sort of understand that filming process. But your experience with what you saw, even though maybe you haven't been on productions or you know, haven't been through the, you know, writing or directing part, does it feel like you saw $6 million on screen? $6 million per episode. $30 million budget for all 6 episodes. I think so. I think so. Because what we're seeing in terms of the the camp, the feeling that this is 11th or 12th century medieval Europe, I think they're pretty good. I think they got they've really, the costumes, the casting is really good. And again, Sir Baelor Targaryen and the interaction with Sir Duncan, that was, it felt very natural. It felt stronger than with Baratheon in the first one, which again, that one felt forced in the tent with everything like that. It kind of like the whole scene felt forced, like they were like trying to push something along. So you knew that's what I mentioned last week. He's got 3 horses. He's got 3 horses for a reason. He's gonna have to start selling them off for something. It's an asset. Right? It's basic business. I have assets. I may have to liquidate this asset to acquire another asset. He sold a horse for armor. Which makes sense. How do you get armor? Armor's expensive, man. You need assets, right? So a lot of the things make sense in terms of where it's all going. So yeah, I liked it. It was good. It was good. But I've got Sir Arlen Pennytree marked down like, 2 or 3 times, 3 or 4 times, sorry. 3 times. Sir Arlen Pennytree. Was it CGI? Was it AI? Sir Arlen Pennytree. So anyway, this is not going to be a long episode. Obviously it's hard to talk in depth about a 30-minute episode. But what we saw is a pretty good setup for episode 3. It's a good episode. It's probably going to get a 9 to a 9.3 on IMDb. I think it's going to be a very highly rated episode. Great for the actor. Great for the Duncan, the tall actor. This guy's set. He's going to have. Usually, tall guys get the tall guy roles where they're playing a monster and they're enclosed in some sort of a mascot suit. Like when they put Caleb in the chicken outfit in episode 3 of Starfleet Academy. Oh my God. What? I mean, that was just. But it's going to be good for him. It's going to be good for the actor. What's his name? I keep forgetting his name. Peter Claffey. Peter Claffey. Sir Duncan Tall. It's going to be good for him. It's going to be good for him. Good job, Peter. Good job. And then Dexter, he's Egg. Dexter Saul Ansel. Sir Dexter. So I know that's about it, guys. So the big question that's going to be all week long. Was it real? Sir Arlen, was his wiener real or was it CGI? I wish I had oh, jeez. I don't know. Again, the funniest thing would be, how do you do casting for that? We're looking for a 70-year-old guy who's got like a, really well endowed. And I guess for a casting call, if you need that, you do it. Unless you do CGI. And look, CGI, that stuff is not that hard to do. So everyone's going to be talking about it. So anyway, that is that's all we're gonna have for this episode, guys. We will be back next week for episode 3. We're gonna be back Thursday night live, right? 8 p.m. Eastern on Thursday night for episode 4 of Starfleet Academy. And of course, we have Saturday POPRAGEOUS live. It's Saturday night, every Saturday night. So please join us live. And throughout the week, we're going to be doing more things live and some whole bunch of other stuff. So please join us here at POPRAGEOUS. Like and subscribe. Love to have you on board. I'm back. I've been gone for a long time. So now I'm finally back. I got the channel going and really enjoying myself. And thank you everyone who stopped by to listen. My name is Danny Alex. This is POPRAGEOUS. And I will see you in our next show, guys. Thank you very much. Sorry, you're still there. Yeah, baby. Are you not entertained?
I'm sorry, baby. I didn't know it was your turn.
Fuck you. Look at me.
Yes.
What's wrong with being sexy? I mean, there's no...
Sex.
These go to 11.
Does that mean it's louder?